Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. And today I want to talk about this watch here. This is the GW-2310, and this is a G-Shock watch that has all the features I like the most. It's tough solar, so there's a solar cell built into the face of the watch. It's Multiband 6, which means there's a radio receiver inside the watch. It will set itself automatically to the correct time and date. All you have to do is set the time zone. And I thought this was a fun watch. You know, they don't have a lot of these. It's not the most popular of G-Shock watches, but I really like it. Okay, so I recently bought this version of it, which is the newest Fire Package version of it. It's all the same except for the colors, really. And I also, while I was looking around for this, you know, the algorithms on different websites like eBay will suggest, hey, maybe you want to get something related to this. And so they said there was a bracelet made by Casio for this watch. And so I looked it up, and I found on packparts.com, yeah, there were versions of this, the GW-2310 BD watches. There were some made that came with a bracelet instead of, you know, this resin watch band. So I thought, oh, if I get one of those bracelets, and I could get one from Pack Parts, then I could put it on this watch, and then it would look really sharp with a bracelet. And I thought that it would be kind of like this. So this is a AWG M100 watch, and they sold some of these that came with bracelets, right? So all I had to do was go find someone that was selling parts and order the bracelet that originally came with a different version of this watch. You know, and I got one for this watch too, and I got a couple others that I put on my different AWG M100 watches, and now they have bracelets, and I think that's really nice. I've got some of those. And also, you know, they made bracelets for some of the G-Shock squares, you know, the resin squares. So I thought, okay, since I've done this before on other watches, all of these watches here, these three, originally came with resin bracelets, right? So I thought, if I can just get the resin bracelet that's made specifically for the GW-2310, I'll just stick it on there. And unfortunately, I couldn't do that. I ordered the bracelet. I had it, and as soon as I opened the package, I realized something was wrong. See, there was one additional part that kind of bridges the gap between the case and the new bracelet. It was a different design than the bracelet on these guys, and the part that I would have needed to use the bracelet has been discontinued, so I'm stuck. Okay, hang on just a second. I was in the middle of editing this video when I realized there was another source possible I could get the watch part that I thought was completely discontinued. So I'm going to pursue that, maybe feature that in another video. But for now, let's continue with this kit I got from the New York watch store that doesn't cost as much, and this is what I did to the watch. And so I decided to try that out. And the good news about that, it was only $25. It's not a perfect fit. It doesn't look like it's necessarily made for this watch, but it works. And so at least for this one, I thought, oh, for $25, I'll try it out. If I just hate it, I can always go back to the resin bracelet, but I actually like this. So let me show you how it works here. First of all, I was just anxious to make the switch, and so I did this one day just in between tasks at work, and so I didn't set up all my video gear to get great pictures of the process of changing this out. But I have some stills that I can show you. First of all, it was just like this watch here originally as far as the watch band was concerned, and so you can see, if you look down there, where there's a spring bar down there. And with a simple spring bar tool, I was able to compress the spring bar, and I was able to remove each side, each piece of the watch band with a simple spring bar tool. Not that difficult. Then I took the watch that now had no watch band on it, and I put in these adapters that came with it, and using again a spring bar, I was able to install the adapters where the ends of the watch band used to be. And then with the adapters in place, I was then able to install the metal bracelet that came with this kit. And not too difficult here. In fact, these spring bars that came with it have just little tabs on them. So if you really wanted to, you wouldn't even need any special tools. You could use your fingernail to remove these pieces of the metal, again, from the adapters that are on the watch case. So with this in place, then all I had to do was to resize the bracelet because it was a little bit large for me with the standard links already in place. So I had to remove some links there. And this wasn't too difficult. I had a link removal tool. This is kind of a pin system, not pin and collar. So don't worry about losing the little collar pieces. But I had to find a way to press the pin out in a way that would allow me to, detach the links from each other. If you take out, 2 pins on links right next to each other, then you can remove the link in between and then put it back together and use 1 pin to put it back together. That's the process I did in order to make that work. And what I ended up with was what I think is a really nice looking thing. I guess the only thing I would be concerned about is how these parts of the adapter kind of stick out. So I suppose that makes them a little bit vulnerable. They're made of plastic. They're made of hard plastic. So I guess if I just banged this really hard, there's a possibility those could be damaged or crack, and somehow, then this wouldn't fit on there anymore. But with those adapters, if I really wanted to, I suppose I could put a spring bar in there and I could, go with some sort of a fabric strap, like a NATO strap, or just any other kind of bracelet I want to put on there that fits in between, the ends of this adapter. So a lot of options there, but I kind of like the way this is. Before I got this watch, I thought from all the illustrations, it looked very angular, almost too many angles. I wondered how that would look in person. And actually this bracelet is kind of a good match for that. It just feels like it also has a lot of angles and things there. So once I got this sized right, let me show you how it looks on my wrist. There, what do you think of that? Okay. Maybe it's a little bit looser than I typically do with bracelets. I don't know. There's some controversy out there of how much your watch should be able to wiggle on a bracelet, but not bad. The clasp has right here, you kind of, that part there kind of locks it in place, and then you pinch the sides and then it opens up like that. So then to close it, you just press that down and then push the latch down to lock it in place. And that actually feels pretty solid. Let's do a little bit before and after on the weight. It was about 64 grams before. It would have been the same as this one here. And then with the metal bracelet kit all installed and a couple of links removed, 136 grams. So significantly heavier, but I really think it feels fine. I don't mind wearing watches with bracelets that are heavier than resin bands. It just doesn't really bother me. But if it bothers you, I just thought I'd show you. It's like double the weight, or actually a little bit more than double when you add this particular kit. And that's about it for now. Again, I'm disappointed that the original Casio genuine bracelet that was available just didn't work with this watch without that special adapter that also is from Casio. So if you happen to see in your, your feed somewhere on whatever social media you're looking at, or eBay or whatever, they suggest that they have a genuine Casio bracelet for this watch, think twice about it. I want to give you a little warning there. If you can't get that little adapter piece, that genuine Casio one's not going to work. But hey, for $24.95, this one's not bad. Okay, so I'm disappointed, and yet I'm satisfied. So how does that work? I just want to help you out because, again, if you saw that there was a bracelet available, I don't want you to be disappointed. Order the thing and find out you can't use it. So I thought I'd just share my experience. And if I do somehow happen to find the right pieces and I try again later, I will certainly let you know. I really want to be helpful, and I hope that shows when you're watching the videos. I want to answer all the questions that I would have had before I bought something or before I did something. So that's why I'm kind of thorough. I kind of talk a lot. But again, I just wanted to answer all of those questions so you'll feel confident that if you make a decision, you're going the right direction of what you really want. So I hope this has been helpful to you, and think about this. This is a nice watch. It gets overlooked because it's not one of the iconic Casios. or G-Shock watches. But if you want to get one of these, you want a metal bracelet, I'll leave a link to where I bought it, and see if you're interested in that yourself. And I hope you will join me again soon, because I do plan to make more episodes of The Good Timekeeping Show.